time that we have. So let us begin with a short prayer. Relax yourself, please. Inhale, exhale slowly. We will do a short prayer to whichever God you believe in. God, to all the great ones, to all the spiritual teachers, all the holy beings, we humbly invoke for divine blessings, for divine guidance, divine light, help, and protection. In full faith, we thank you. And gently, with a smile, open your eyes. Okay, so how many of you were there for the Mastery over Emotions session? Yeah, okay. Because I was seeing some names. So I hope that session helped you. Are you already practicing? Are you already applying some techniques, or have you already forgotten what we talked about? Okay, good to hear that. Good to hear that some of us are practicing. And today we have a different set of topics, different set of techniques are actually not as much in this topic. So like in the mastery, we had certain techniques to take away. In this particular topic, there's not much of techniques. Okay, so this is more again about the way we look at life, the way we face challenges, the way we face problems. Okay, so just to set the right expectations. But I would definitely love if you have your notepad or pen near you. We will do certain experiments, not experiments, workshops, practices. If not, doesn't really matter. You may always use your phone. Phone is something which is always around no matter where you are. So you can also use your phone to type out. But if you have a pen and paper, it will help you have a little bit more clarity before we end the session. Okay. So the topic that we have is breaking karmic patterns, right? So when we say karmic patterns, what is the initial thought that we have? Right? Pattern means something which is repetitive. So if something happened to you for the first time, that is not part of the pattern. Pattern is just happening. It may be happening regularly for past few months. It may be happening regularly for past few years, or it may be a pattern which is there since you were a child, continuing up to now. So anything which has been repeating regularly in your life, it can be a pattern. By the way, based on my own experiences and also based on sometimes when I talk to people, there's also patterns in your dreams, like a recurring theme being repeated in your dreams. Even that can something be, you may just observe. That is not what we are talking about today, but just observe. Even that might be a hint for something. Okay. Now going back, you have to take some pattern. So if you have a pen and paper, now is the best time to take it out. Write down 2 or 3 maximum. 1 or 2 is ideal, maximum 3 patterns that you are aware of in your life. Now, it has to be about you. It cannot be about your family. It cannot be about somebody that you love. It has to be something that you personally go through. Right? 2 or 3 patterns. Example of patterns. So some people, they might say, no matter how much good intention I have, I am somehow always misunderstood. That can be a pattern. The pattern can also be always getting things delayed. No, things doesn't happen to you on time. You get through, the success comes, but not on time. It comes with delay. It comes with struggle. For some people, the pattern can simply be, let's say, freedom, lack of freedom. People trying to dominate, people trying to restrict, or not having your way. Right? The pattern can also be the way you respond, like a pattern of anger. It can be a pattern of fear or depression, a pattern of losing money or losing things, right? Take any 2, 3 patterns. Now, ideally, I would prefer out of these 2, 3 patterns, one should be absolute simple pattern. Something which is not causing you sleepless nights, but it's noticeable enough in your life. Like, for example, losing small stuff. So it's not causing you too much pain, but it's something that you have observed. Yeah, this does happen to me. For example, I know this one person who had a pattern of getting fractures. nothing life threatening, hairline fractures, but according to him, every time, every year, there would be one plaster somewhere in the body, whether it be the hand, whether it be the foot, but there would be some injury happening. Even that can be a pattern, right? Or some people have pattern of not getting right advice, right? They have to struggle. People don't help them. Or this is one somebody close to me. The pattern of the maid not sticking at home, the maid constantly leaving and a new maid coming in, or the job not staying. You can always looking for having to look for a new job. It can be anything. So out of the two, three patterns, just make sure one of them is a simple pattern. Simple, what I mean is something which is not as painful for you, not as traumatizing for you. Ah, that's an interesting pattern. Somebody is mentioning that every full moon, one thing gets destroyed for the person. Destroyed, you mean to say the things get damaged? I hope not an emotional damage, huh? Getting small burns during cooking almost every day. Nothing painful though, it happens. Yes, that can be a pattern also. So something like what Paramita has said, small burns while cooking. So it's not something which she's really bothered about, but yes, it's a noticeable pattern. Because not everybody gets burnt every time they cook, right? So you cannot say it happens, it happens, but you cannot say it has to happen. Are you getting the difference? Repeated emotional imbalance. Yes, it can happen also. That can also be one of your patterns that you can choose. Repeated emotional imbalance. Also, I would like to suggest if you're writing this, you have to be specific. Which emotion? Yes, you may have two, three emotions, completely fine, but at least identify which emotions. Are we done till here? Did we identify some pattern, at least one pattern? Doing silly mistake, yes, that can be a pattern also. Okay, so pattern is done. Now the second part is, and somebody's mentioning you can also have relationship and financial patterns. Yes, so you have one kind of partner. The children always behaves like this. Or I know this one person. According to her, when she was young, the father was dominating. Then she got married, the husband was dominating. Now she has an adult son, the son is dominating. So yeah, you can also have a relationship pattern. You can also have a financial pattern that money comes but doesn't stay. Or somehow you end up having to pay for other people. Like I know this one person, he is a very practical person, doesn't take financial risk. Pretty sorted, he earns for his family, he is happy. But his brother, he keeps having reckless financial decisions, for lack of better word. And he, being the older brother, being the guardian of the family, he ends up having to pay for his brother every time without his fault, without him taking that reckless decision. But just to save his brother, just out of love, he has to spend from his savings. So then that can be a financial pattern, right? So any kind of pattern. Now, once we have a pattern, the second question, the second word of the topic is karmic pattern. So when we say pattern, and when we say karmic pattern, it means something, right? So what do we mean when we say karmic pattern? When we think about it, okay, it's a karmic pattern. How does it make you feel? What do you think about this? How do you, in your own way, decode this? What does it mean for you? Again, this is sharing examples of patterns from the chat room. When somebody disapproves what I do, I get depressed. Yes. Husband is taking money. Yes, can be a pattern also. Anxiety whenever there's a new task. Even though I want to do it, but I feel scared and less confident. Yes, yes, they're all good examples of patterns. Thank you for sharing. Now, what do you mean by karmic pattern? Now, again, as soon as we add the word karmic pattern, one of the very immediate responses, what I have again observed is it feels unresolvable. It feels unsolvable. It feels overwhelming. Is it not? When we say karmic patterns, it feels like, okay, this is my destiny. This is how it's going to be. I cannot overcome it. So that is why we need to understand the word karma, or the word karmic patterns, the word destiny even better, right? So we will not go completely into the topic of destiny. As most of you know, it's also part of this course, which is called Achieving Oneness with the Higher Soul course. So we'll not go into that topic completely. Some of us may not have done that course, but we will definitely have some essence of it, in sufficient essence for us to understand. Okay. Yes, Shobhaji. So even health problems, like in a family, some people have similar diseases, or some people have similar issue like everybody has gone through a miscarriage, a woman of the family has gone through the miscarriage, or everybody's a heart issue, everybody has a leg problem, like in the chat room. Yes, they all can be patterns. Okay. So patterns, I think we are clear enough. Now coming to karmic patterns, as we were saying, when we add the word karmic, it simply means there is an obstacle, right? Now, just because there's an obstacle does not mean there is no way out. Okay, it simply means we have to put a little extra effort to overcome that obstacle. So, if you are going home from your office and it's monsoon, suppose a tree has fallen on the road, the tree is an obstacle, right? Or just to connect, it's a karmic obstacle. Why were you on the road when the tree fell? Why were you not already crossed when the tree fell? Why were you taking that route only that day? Yeah, there's so many ifs and buts, but the end moment is that you are on that road and the tree is in front blocking the road. It's a karmic obstacle. It's not something that you created immediately, but it's there as part of the karma of life and how things are. Now, just because there's a tree on the road, will you sit in your car crying and howling, oh, I'm stuck, I cannot do anything. Now, this is my destiny just to sit in my car and suffer about it? Or will you be practical and GPS find a new route to my home? Right? And most of you, if it's your house route, you already know, okay, think I can take a left turn from here and again I can turn away. So you already know there's a alternate route possible. But then will the alternate route might increase your time to reach home? Of course, because the one that you are taking would probably be the shortest route, the easiest route, right? The second route might take more time. It may have more signals. It may have more turns. It may be longer detour also, right? There are many other problems that might be there. You may not be familiar with that new route. You may have to constantly depend on the GPS to guide you. There can be so many ifs and buts, but there is a alternate route possible. Yes or no? Okay, so we need to start looking at the word karma with a similar understanding. Just because something is my karma, my destiny, how that life is, does not mean it's the end of the world. Does not mean I'm meant to suffer. It simply means it's going to take a little extra effort. Okay, now just because it's going to take a little extra effort from this point does not mean we forget to be grateful for the journey till now. Are we understanding this? Just because halfway to my home I found an obstacle on the road, just because I had to put now extra effort to reach home, does not mean we will forget to be grateful till the journey here. Because even this is part of my karma. I did not find trees every 10 feet, right? I found tree, let's say, after 5 kilometers. So at least 5 kilometers was an easier route. So even this is our own karma. Even this is our good karmic pattern. You don't find trees on every day of your route, right? You don't find problems every day, everywhere. We are sitting here, we have internet, we have free time in the afternoon, right? We are smart enough to understand these kind of topics. Is that not a good karma already? Right? So we also need to remember to be grateful. One of the biggest obstacle when it comes to breaking a pattern is we get stuck so much with what is going wrong that we forget to be grateful for what was going right and what is still going on. Okay, so gratitude helps a lot. One of my initial days practices was one day to learn to say thank you when problem happens. Right, and I've shared this with a few people and they also felt inspired with this, and again people have come back and told me also, Ankita, finally when a problem came, instead of saying again, we said thank you, another opportunity to grow now. So if you can do that, you've already shifted your perspective to a very good degree. Yes, so take it as an opportunity. Okay, now I have to do something to change my life. If this pattern is being coming in front of me, if this pattern is being shown to me, that means I can do something to change my life. Otherwise, why will it be shown to me? Will a class 2 student get a class 10 level of maths? क्या आप क्लास 2 के बच्चे को क्लास 10 लेवल का मैथ्स देंगे? कैलकुलस एंड आई डोंट वांट टू थिंक अबाउट इट, आई हेटेड मैथ्स, बट all those hard stuff, will you give it to a class 2 student? No. Why? Why? Good. No, let them handle at class 2 only. At the age of, what will be class 2's age? Maybe 7 around. Why won't you give? Because there's no point. You may make them sit hours and hours and hours, but a class 2 student cannot understand class 10 level of maths, right? And that is why we wait till they are mature enough to handle class 10, and then they are learning class 10 level of maths. If they are not even mature to handle class 1, they are made to repeat. No promotion. Repeat class 1 again. Get your base strong. And then go to class 2, right? This is exactly how life also works. If life is giving us something, be confident that you can handle it. That you're in class 10 now, and that's how you can handle class 10 maths. Or if you feel, oh, you have no idea, my life is so tough, congratulations, you're doing PhD. But you are in PhD, and that is why you're studying PhD. Right? At every level, if you ask any school student, they will not say, oh, my level class is so easy. Class 4 will find their class difficult. Class 6 will find their class difficult, right? So yes, we understand every one of us here will find challenges difficult, but we are only getting what we can handle. We will not get more than what you can handle. So as somebody saying they do not have enough knowledge to handle it. That's right. So if you're getting a challenge, have faith in yourself that you can handle it. And that is why you are getting that challenge in the first place. Okay. This will really start making you more optimist, more positive to deal with life. A pessimist attitude will only make us feel bad about ourselves. It will not give us a strength to handle it. Yes, we are all human beings. We all can cry for 2 days. But third day, we have to get up and face it. Easier said than done, of course. But we have to, no option. Okay, and that is where the techniques of emotional mastery will come into play. There you have to learn to manage your emotions. There you learn to calm yourself down, do your meditation, go out, do something just to calm yourself down, and then you handle the situation. See, when you are so overwhelmed with emotions, you will not be able to think clearly. Have you not seen when there's a panic, when there's a stress, somebody tells you, oh, take a decision right now, and like, I can't think, do whatever you feel right, right? Have you gone through that situation? So, in the moment of extreme stress, you will not be able to think clearly. You will not be able to understand why the pattern is there or what should I do. So, in that moment, you follow what we did in mastering your emotions. Okay. Once you are emotionally calmer, you're more peaceful, then you, okay, now you sit down to understand, okay, what is happening? What do I need to do? How do I come out of it? See, if you get a business, if you're in a career, if you're in a business, and if there's a challenge, what do? Do you sit down with your team, with your colleagues, with your boss, and you discuss what's the solution to the problem? Or will you just give up? Business band kar do. Problem aa gaya. What will you do? You will sit down. You will discuss. You will find ways. You will continue till you solve it. Same with life. Same with life. You sit down. You get your friends. You get your people that you trust. You get your mentors. Discuss. This is what is happening. What do I do? Right? You need sometimes additional viewpoint because we can't always understand what exactly I'm doing wrong. Have you not seen so many people, they complain, no, this person is like this, but they do the exact same thing. वो लोग बोलेंगे दूसरे ऐसे कर रहे हैं मेरे साथ, बट उनको रियलाइज नहीं होता कि वो खुद भी ऐसा करते हैं. So we don't realize our mistake, and it's a general human flaw. This is not a particular person's problem. This is how we all humans are, and that is why you need additional input from other people. We are not bad people. We just don't realize sometimes, okay, what we are doing. So we need this additional input from people who can tell us, no, but you are also doing it. Maybe you should change this. Right? Are we understanding till here? Okay. So when challenge comes, when you want to break a negative karmic pattern, realize that there are other solutions. Realize that it just requires extra effort. Every lock has a key. Every problem has a solution. Extra effort चाहिए. And solve करने के लिए you need a peaceful mind. You cannot solve with an agitated, restless, obsessive, overthinking mind. Okay, you need a peaceful mind. So how do you create peace? Go back to learned the session on mastering emotions, right? So once you have inner peace, by the way, another thing to have is gratitude. Remember, we discussed have gratitude for at least for the good things that you have, and stop blaming. Life is like this. Oh, God is like this. No, some people have. Oh, God को मेरे से ही problem है. God is not singling us out, right? So, not blaming anyone, not blaming anyone includes yourself, not even blaming yourself. Oh, I'm good for nothing. Oh, I'm this and that, nothing. It's a problem. It's okay. It's part and parcel of life. Okay. So, once you have this mindset, once you have an emotional, stable body, emotional body, then you are now in a state to start thinking. Now, just because you're starting to think does not mean the solution will come to you immediately. As I said, we all have blind spots. We all have our own ideas of right and wrong, right? So it takes time to realize, okay, कहाँ पे fine tuning और चाहिए, कहाँ पे और better कर सकते हैं. So many times it happens, you tell somebody, but why are you doing this? Doesn't look nice. Some people will tell you, no, but everybody is doing this, right? So when we say everybody is doing this, in our mind it becomes a cultural, a societal norm. Kids allowed, but my philosophy is, what kind of life do you want? You look at that person. If you say everybody is doing this, then don't complain your life is like everybody. If you copy your neighbor, your life will be like your neighbor. If you want to have a very successful life, you look at the life of successful people. If you want a peaceful life, you look at the life of peaceful people. You choose your examples mindfully. You read about them. Then you understand the way they think is different. The way they live is different. So I have seen some of my friends who are extremely prosperous, extremely prosperous. And one of the common traits I will say is they are extremely generous, extremely, always ready to help, always ready to gift, always ready to share, right? So you have to look at the life of people जिनका आप aspire करते हो, right? And then you copy the good qualities they have. Okay, so this is also part of breaking. You have to develop something new. Okay, if we don't develop something new, how will we get something new? अगर आप सेम इंग्रेडिएंट हर बार खाने में डालेंगे, will the taste change? No. So if you want a different taste, you have to change something. Maybe remove or maybe add something, right? It can either it can change either ways, right? It can change by adding something or it can change by removing something, right or no? So in life, if you want to change the pattern, either add something or remove something. Okay. Now, shall we go back to the pattern that okay, before we do. Any question till now? This is clear, right? So when we now go back to the pattern that we wrote, take the simpler one first. Take the simpler one first. I'll just take examples from the chat room. Okay, I'll take this example. When somebody disapproves what I do, I get depressed because this is very common, right? So, first of all, thank you. You realized both. You realized disapproving as a pattern and depression as a result of the pattern, right? So, now go back to your pattern. Now, ask yourself the result of that pattern. Like this person said, when somebody disapproves, I get depressed, right? So, you ask yourself, when this pattern repeats, how do I feel? Now, please make a note. You will not think, you will not analyze. On a fresh paper, just write down जो मन में आ रहा है. I'll give you a few minutes, don't worry. Write down whatever. So you go back to that moment when the pattern is repeating. Okay? And write down whatever you are feeling, whatever thoughts you are having in your mind. You have three maximum patterns, no, as example. You can take any one of them. You can start with a simpler one just because it is simple, or you can take any one of them. And just go back in that moment. Imagine that pattern is repeating. Imagine yourself in that repeated situation and write down whatever you are feeling, whatever is going on in your mind. Don't justify. Is it right? Is it wrong? What will people think? Should I write this? Should I not write this? Don't go into analysis. Just write down whatever you're feeling. Whenever you're done, please type in the chat room so that I know I can go to the next step. So somebody in the chat room says, if the maid changes, I feel depressed and I feel maybe I'm not a good employer or unlucky or something wrong with me. Now, this is a very good example. Why is it very good? You will see the pattern the person wrote is changing of maid. This is a pattern. But the effect is so different. The effect is depression, self doubt, right? Pessimism, because they think I'm unlucky, there's nothing good in my life, right? So, this is something I was hoping for actually, if you're writing this. Did you notice the pattern and the effect? They're not always correlated. Like somebody who said made changes, one of people can respond differently, right? So for somebody it can also be, oh, I never get help, I never have support in my life. That can also be one of the common response to not having a maid. But for this person, the person says depressed, self-doubt, pessimism, right? So this is one of the example that the outer pattern reveals the inner state. The outer pattern reveals the inner state. Now, this is what needs fixing. I repeat, this is what needs fixing. See, if I am supposed to leave the house, oh, this before I came online, this before the ones who are switching on their cameras, before you all switched on your cameras, did you not check the mirror? Did you just check, okay, is everything okay? Am I presentable? If you're having guests, will you check the mirror before you go and receive them? We will, right? But when you're checking the mirror and when you don't like something in the mirror, whom will you fix? The mirror or yourself? When you look at yourself in the mirror and you do not like what you see, what will you be fixing? Yourself or the mirror? That's obvious, no? When I'm asking, it was obviously you will fix yourself. Why will you fix the mirror? Same thing in life. The mirror is the life that we have. Okay? So, not getting help, being blamed, whatever, that is a mirror of the inner emotional mental state. Okay? So now that emotional state has to be fixed. That thinking has to be fixed. That outlook towards life has to be fixed. Now, everything else is just to help us be aware of what is happening within. So thank you, Dimple, so much for this example. This absolutely puts the point home. Okay. So now, whatever you wrote, you summarize. You summarize. So जो आपने लिखा है thoughts, emotions, so summarize करिए 1 या 2 words में. 1 या 2 words only. So, जो भी आपने लिखा, whatever emotions and thoughts you wrote in that particular situation, you summarize. What is exactly that you go through? Somebody is asking what to think and write. Pooja, we were just thinking of the pattern and we were writing what we feel when we go through that pattern. Somebody is writing self-doubt again and again in the loop. Dimple, you did such a good job. Why are you asking me now to summarize for you? You did such a good job of self-awareness. You can summarize, don't worry. Okay, did you summarize? Did you summarize? One or two word? It can be a feeling, it can be a thought. It doesn't have to be only feeling, only thought. It can be both also. So, Pooja, that can be your pattern. The pattern can be of fear and isolation, avoiding people, or maybe fear. Maybe that's why you're avoiding people only. Okay. So once you have this word with you, it's okay. You don't have to put it in the chat room because this is your personal homework also. Once you have this with you, you ask yourself, where am I doing this to others? You ask yourself, where am I doing this to others? Kyunki, what is karma? We all know, right? We have been hearing this since childhood. What we plant is what we harvest. जो बीज लगाएंगे वो फल पाएंगे, right? So what we can see, what you have written is the fruit that we are receiving. जो फल हम पा रहे हैं. Okay, this is what you have written is the fruit that we are receiving. We cannot control the fruit. That's what Gita says, right? You can control what seed to plant, but you cannot control what fruit to harvest. हमारे हाथ में seeds है, fruits नहीं है. So once you have received the fruit, what we can change is the seed, right? The seeds are the way we think, the way we feel, the way we say, and what we do. Okay, so the seeds is our response basically. And just a reminder, the response is not only words and actions, the response is thoughts and emotions as well. How we respond to life, how we respond to challenges, how we respond to people. All those responses are a new batch of seeds and they will have their own fruits. So again, reminder, only we can choose how to respond. We cannot choose what comes back. Now, why thoughts and emotions? This is a very common question I get, but the other person doesn't know what I'm thinking. Doesn't matter because the way what you think is how you say, how you act. For example, if you know somebody is going through a bad time and it's your friend you want to help, it's your thought you want to help, what will you say? You will say, "Na, if you need any help, let me know." Or you will say, "Tell me kab aana hai, kya help chahiye." Your words will be a sign of your thoughts. So thought is the first thing. Even if you forget this example, let's take another example. Have you not come across some of your friends or relatives or social circle, anybody of those sorts, they talk so sweetly, honey dipped, everything dipped, sugary words they have, but it's just outer words. Inside they don't feel that for you. Have you not seen that happen? So we know words are not sufficient. Intention matters, thought matters, right? So how we respond is part of everything. So for those of you who are saying, let's say self-doubt, you ask yourself, where am I creating self-doubt in others? How am I making others feel, as somebody wrote, let's say lonely or fear? How am I making others fearful? That is one way to look at it. What am I making others feel? Okay, and not just what, जो भी आप feel किए, जो भी आपका summary था, whom am I making feel like that? Remember, going back to the example, if you want to change the taste of the food, either you add an ingredient or you remove the ingredient. So this example of where am I making others feel bad is an example of removing the ingredient. So you're making others feel bad, just stop. Don't make others feel bad. Simple. But sometimes it's not about removing an ingredient, it's about adding another ingredient. So maybe you're not the one causing others to be fearful. You're not causing others to, let's say, doubt themselves, but you're also not giving them confidence. You're also not giving them courage. You're also not, let's say, giving support, right? So it's not only doing bad. Sometimes we are not doing what is right. This is one of the observations I had. This one person was taking a counseling. I heard this from the person who took the counseling actually. So this person went to the trainer and he told the trainer, I've never done bad things in my life, this and that. So how come bad things are happening to me? And the trainer said, yeah, you may not have done bad things. I completely agree with you. But the question is, have you done good things? Just because we have not done bad things does not mean we're a good person. It simply means you're not a bad person. आपने कौन सा खराब फ्रूट बोलूं? आपको क्या नहीं पसंद? If you don't like apples, if you don't not like apples, maybe आपने apple plant नहीं किया. Okay. But have you planted mango? Have you planted strawberry? Just because we have not done bad does not mean we have done what is right. So just because we have not done, as somebody saying, I did not destroy for others. Yes, possible. But did you protect them when they were getting destroyed? That can be another thing to look at. You did not criticize somebody, but did you appreciate somebody? Right? So this is some of the ways we can start looking at. So this aspect, many people don't see. They only say, I have not done bad. Fair enough. But also check if you have done good. You did not dominate anyone. Okay. But when you saw somebody being dominated, did you stand up for their freedom? You did not stop anybody from doing something. You did not say कि मैंने तो रोक टोक नहीं किया. But did you support? कि करो. I'm there for you. I'm there to support you. Right? There is a difference. So now the pattern that you wrote, now once you have summarized the two words on your paper again, summary, this. Now you ask yourself, where can I improve this? We will first always focus on improvement. So you ask yourself, where can I improve this? So like, where else can I plant the required energy in my thoughts, words, and actions? So just taking the example of, let's say, self-doubt, where can I improve this means, how can I, where, to whom, or how can I make others feel confident? You don't have to list out everything, at least two, three things, two, three names, or two, three situations. Ki whom can you help with the positive quality? So you basically know, right? After the summarizing, now you know what you want and what you do not want. So for example, you don't want to feel self-doubt. You don't want to go through a financial problem. You don't want to go through the blame game. You know what you do not want, right? But you also know what you want. You want to be appreciated. You want prosperity. You want good health. So not not generic, not generic. I want to be happy. Specific. The specific emotion you wrote. What's the opposite quality of that? And where can I make people feel those positive qualities? And once you are finishing with that, you also write down, where should I avoid this negative pattern regularly now? So again, going back to the example of self-doubt. So if you have self-doubt, you ask, now where can I stop making people feel self-doubt? At least two, three names. Some of you, I can, almost 50, 60% of you, maybe on the 60% side, are still feeling very unclear. That's okay. That's okay. Clarity will not happen in 45 minutes. It takes time because you have to think, you have to really identify. अभी बहुत surface level आपने लिखा है exactly what you feel. Once you're back in that situation, you might have better clarity. Okay, what exactly am I feeling, right? And then you continue practicing this. See, breaking patterns takes time. It's a pattern for a few years, few months, right? It will not change overnight. Even those who could identify what exactly they are feeling, realizing doesn't change anything. Just saying sorry doesn't change anything, right? The person has to correct their behavior for it to be truly sorry. So just because we are now being aware will not change it. We have to bring the changes in our life, in the way we look, in the way we say, in the way we act. And that change takes time. And that is why I told you to start with one simple pattern also. Let me give you an example. So this person kept losing his earpods. He kept losing his earpods. I think 3, 4 times he lost his earpods in a span of few months. And it was his expensive earpods. So he sat down and thought, and again, he's a practicing pranic healer. He sat down and thought, okay, why am I losing my earpods? There has to be some lesson, right? Because it's an expensive that I'm losing every time. And he realized that he had purchased a track. He had that track properly, no piracy. And somebody asked, can you just lend me that? He gave it for one time use, but he did not realize that the track is being used regularly. And that person gave to somebody else. And again, from his, and something happened. Like, basically, he was instrumental in piracy, in doing piracy, unknowingly, unaware. And the moment he realized this, he stopped doing that. He said, okay, everybody delete the files, this and that, no more access to my, he has this file, cloud access, no more access to my cloud file and all that. And he said very interesting, Ankita, how I came to the realization it has to be do with music, because I realized why only my AirPods are being lost. I'm not losing anything else. I'm not losing money. I'm not losing this. I'm not losing that. I'm only losing my earpods. And what do I use my earpods for? I use my earpods to listen. I listen to music, listen to songs on my phone. So that means it has something to do with that. That's specific. That what are you losing? And somebody said, my things are destroyed. What exactly is getting destroyed? You ask yourself. Another person, she shared that her phone would keep getting some damage and constant repair it would require. And she actually sat down and thought, why is my phone always getting damaged? Nobody's phone gets repaired so often. I'm sending my phone for repair every 2 months. She was wasting her time so much on video games. This was pre social media era, pre covid. So she would constantly be playing video games, not focusing on her work, not focusing on other jobs. And according to her, this was one of the ways that life taught her, okay, let me not so much spend so much time on my phone, right? So you don't just look at, okay, thing getting destroyed, I'm destroying. Be more specific if you can, more specific. जितना आप स्पेसिफिक जाएंगे उतना बेटर आपके लिए हो पाएगा टू अंडरस्टैंड कि एग्जैक्टली व्हाट आई नीड टू लर्न सो अ पैटर्न कैन बी ब्रोकन राइट व्हेन वी स्टार्ट डूइंग द ऑपोजिट पैटर्न then the old pattern will break. The reason a pattern is repeating, that is more important now. The reason a pattern is repeating for us to take notice. If something happens once in a life and doesn't happen again, most of us will not pay attention to it. Like, हाँ ठीक है हुआ था, doesn't matter. But because it is repeating constantly, it is actually asking for our attention. कि look, there is something here. And have you not noticed? आप एक छोटे पैटर्न को अगर इग्नोर करते रहते हो, it actually becomes a big pattern. Have you noticed if you ignore the smaller things, it becomes a bigger topic, a bigger matter one fine day? Because it is like, how much will you ignore me? It's fighting for your attention, right? So if you notice small patterns and if you say, okay, this is not that big a problem, I'll let it slide. Try not to make that mistake. Small में solve करना easy है. Just like our homes. If a small termite issue, small water leakage issue, small whatever issue, it's easier to fix it then and there. You ignore it, then becomes a full-blown repair job. And because we ignore it, it becomes such a big problem in life that now I have to leave everything else just to solve this problem. Right? Especially when it comes to bigger health challenges, bigger financial challenges, or bigger relationship challenges. Your family was complaining. We ignored. No, I have my career, I've got this, I've got that. And one fine day, it becomes such a big problem that you will do anything just to get a family back. Have you not seen such people? So don't let it become a big blown issue. If you see a pattern, try solving it when it is small. It is much easier, less costly. Yes. So one of the things you can do also to help you identify the pattern is you pray. You pray for guidance. You pray to know what to do to break the pattern. Like one of my friends, I think his money was stuck somewhere. As a good amount was stuck somewhere. And he sat down and he couldn't figure out because I know him. He's a very punctual boss he like pays really well on time. So he was like, I don't know why the money is stuck, why is the money stuck? And he sat down, he prayed, and he just had a like a moment of remembrance that he had borrowed some money from his friend that I'll return back in a few months. His friend forgot to ask, he forgot to return because it was not a very big amount, just some amount. And he did that. He paid his friend back afterwards. And in the same week, one place where his wife goes for regular services, the place called up and said, we were not bothering you because I know generally the bills are settled very well, but this time the bill has been pending for some time because the bill had come to the office, but he completely missed the bill. The bill did not come to his desk. So he got that payment also done. And then next week, the payment, he received his payment. What I'm trying to say is a lot of times we do not make mistake because we are deliberately doing it. We are making mistakes because we do not know that we're making the mistake in the first place. None of us here will say, I know it's wrong, but I'll still do it. We all are doing it unaware or mostly because some things are not in our control, right? So if you are really getting stuck and really not getting an answer, you can do a prayer, or before you meditate, you can have the question that I really want to come out of this problem. What do I need to do? What do I need to do to break this pattern? Right? So if it's something that you have a blind spot or something you're really not able to figure out, it's too complicated situation, not able to understand how to solve this, prayers can help you. So you don't have to continue to suffer. As I said, you don't have to continue to sit in front of the fallen tree. You can ask GPS. You can ask God, please guide. What do I do next? But you can be grateful. Thank you for all the good things. Thank you for trusting me with this challenge. Now, please guide me. Cheat code. Tell me what's a cheat code. Tell me what can I do to come out of this. Yes. Should I not give my books to other people to read? Is it also stealing from the publisher and author? The entire concept of library exists because of this. So I'm assuming it should be fair enough. Copying the book is different. Copying the book becomes piracy, right? That is different. And when you are giving the book to somebody else, it's only one copy, no, it's going to somebody else. With the music, it was like creating copies of the music. Everybody had access to the music. And they were not family. They were friends. A lot of people had access to the music. They were all downloading it on their phones. That was a problem. Okay, just to correlate with the example I gave earlier. Okay. Some of you, 20% of you have headaches. Good. When you when you think too much, it can give you headache. That's fine. There's a good kind of headache that we are thinking. We are really trying to think. Yes. Uh, One of the best times to practice this, what we did now, sitting with a pen and paper, writing down everything is one of the best times is when you're feeling very peaceful. Very peaceful. So it can be after your puja, after your meditation, very peaceful. So that you don't go into denial. You don't go into justification. No, but this is the reason I feel that. It is common to feel. You don't go into justifying. It's your own practice, no? You're not telling it to anybody else. So try not to go into justification, because once we go into that, we will again miss certain points that can actually help us solve the problem. Okay. What I would like you to take away home from today's topic is first, a have belief, have faith that there is no problem without a solution. If this is a challenge in life, it's a problem in life, there is a solution. Okay. B, we cannot go into victim mode. The problem does not mean we will just have to suffer. The word karma does not mean we have to suffer. It simply means we have to put extra effort. We have to put a different kind of effort sometimes, right? The same effort will not yield you results. You have to do a different kind of effort. If you have a lock and you keep using the key and the lock is not opening up, what do? You try a different key. You will not put the same key every day and say, see, nothing happens. You try a different key, right? You try a different approach. So in a family, if standing up always creates more problem, maybe try ignore, try something different. Or maybe try standing up with softness, with soft, polite words instead of being the Hulk, right? So you try different approaches, and every approach, give it 2, 3 tries. Once may not be enough. Remember, you have to break the pattern. So even your effort has to be repeated in the first place. So try every approach for a few times. It doesn't help, then try a new approach. One of the one of the techniques I personally use to know if I have the right key or not is the feeling of inner peace. So when I'm thinking of a solution. I'm like, okay, let's try this. Sometimes you have, okay, let's try this, let's try this. But you're just trying for the sake of trying. But sometimes when you say, okay, let's try this, and immediately you will feel a sense of peace, a sense of this is it. You will know you're on the right track. So your heart will guide you. Follow your heart. If you are so even with me, sometimes when people come for counseling, and when we are talking and talking what can be the solution, sometimes we don't end up with a peace, we end up with let's try kind of attitude. And sometimes we just, both patient and the person who has come to me and I, we both feel peaceful, then we know okay, this is it. And invariably that actually starts solving the problem for them. So I know this peace feeling is one of the secrets to look for. If that piece is not there, somewhere we need to look for more solution, look for better solution, maybe think more, maybe go deeper. But peace may come when we decide, no, that may be relief, that may be relief from okay, face nahi karna padega. Peace is different feeling. You have to look for peace. The peace is like you will really feel peaceful, like this is it. Relief is different. Relief can also come from avoiding, from not having to go through it, or feeling, okay, it's not my problem now. But peace is a positive feeling, it uplifts you. Okay? Are we good? Most welcome. Okay, so if you have a question, we can take it up. Else, we will do a short prayer for continued guidance and clarity and the inner strength to break the patterns. It takes strength, it takes a lot of strength, because changing your nature, changing the way we look at life, changing the way we respond is not easy, right? It takes conscious effort, especially. By the way, another way to look at breaking the pattern is we are learning something new, right? Breaking a karmic pattern, you have to learn something new, build a new emotion, a new thought process, a new behavior, something new. So if something is easy, if something is natural to you, that may not be what you have to learn. Because you already know it, right? You already have it as part of your nature, and that's why it's easy for you. So it has to be something which is extra effort for you. For example, as somebody said, but peace may come when we decide to avoid a tough challenge. For example, if forgiving is very easy for you, छोड़ो ना बोल दिया, let me let go, right? If forgiving and letting go is very easy for you, that you will forgive whatever mistake is happening. If that is already your nature, then that doesn't require extra effort. It's your nature. That means that may not be what you have to learn. What you may have to learn probably will be to stand up for what is right. Now, standing up does not mean you stand with guns and bullets and you go for a war. Standing up can also be done firmly, it can also be done gently yet firm. Some of the, if you see these movies where they have this one powerful person with lots of money, lots of resources, this person doesn't shout, I want this done. He just say, I want this done by tonight. That's the kind of aura we want. Firm, gentle, yet clear what you want. Not always going for the war. Okay, so best example here in relationships. This is where I find most people don't understand this example. If separating is easy, that means living together will require extra effort. If hanging on is easy, maybe separation might require extra effort. So in a marriage, if staying in the abusive marriage is easy just because log kya kahenge, then probably stand up for yourself. Don't take the nonsense. If I don't want to adjust, I want to live on my own terms. If that is easy, then maybe learn to adjust, learn to forgive, learn to accept. If both are difficult, one will be more difficult. Either fear, because fear will make you stay, right? Or anger, because anger will make you want to separate. Yes, thank you. Desperate feeling, one of the very bad feelings to have. People will take advantage, bosses will take advantage, life will take advantage. Never be desperate. You will take wrong decisions in desperate state. Be reliant, don't be dependent. Okay, making it easy with examples. Thank you so much for the feedback. Shall we do a closing prayer with a short prayer also for clarity? Relax yourself, inhale, exhale slowly. God, to all the great ones, to all the spiritual teachers, to Master Choa, we humbly thank you for the teachings, the techniques. Thank you for blessing us with deeper mental clarity, with inner peace and the inner strength to face life, to face the difficult patterns of our life, and to do what is right to break those negative patterns. Thank you also for blessing us with the inner strength to create a good pattern in our life. Thank you for blessing us with this reminder, especially when we are faced with challenge. And we also radiate tremendous gratitude for all the blessings we have received in our life. And we are also grateful for the challenges because it gives us the opportunity to make ourselves better. Thank you for blessing us and our family with your divine blessings. In full faith, we thank you. Inhale, absorb the blessings. Exhale, share with your entire aura and your entire family. And with a smile, open your eyes. Okay, so thank you so much. If you like the session, please spread the word. If you have already done soul class and it's been long, please come review. Soul courses are always interesting. Every class gives us better insights. There'll be something that will always pick up that, okay, this makes appropriate answers to our life. Because in every time we attend, we are a different person, right? In different situations. So you'll always find something for yourself, for your life circumstances. And please do spread the word. Imagine more people understanding this concept, understanding about karmic patterns, and being equipped with the techniques to break them. Okay. So thank you, Shivani, for hosting this. We will give her thanks for organizing it, getting all of you together. And she has also posted the link for registration. Do copy it, do share with people you know who might benefit. Okay. And those who have done soul class long back, please come review. We will have fun. Okay. So thank you all so much. Take care. Have a great weekend.